Hey, it's Clayton Collins here at Sharecon BPO. Today we're talking about deal sourcing, specifically for investment banks. So what is deal sourcing? Why is it important? Do you even need it? You probably do. So deal sourcing is essentially just the process that you go through of acquiring deals. All right, so it's the entire process from finding people in the market, they may or may not be in the market, nurturing those leads, and then ultimately turning them into an engagement, and finally having a deal, closing the deal, getting paid. So why is deal sourcing so important? Well, first, let's step back to what investment banks do. Investment banks are advisor firms, which means they advise someone on a transaction. That transaction is how they get paid. So they're getting paid on a success fee, a commission, whatever you want to call that completion fee. That's how they get paid. So having a long list of leads to turn into sales is extremely important. Because believe it or not, those transactions take a long time. The transaction could take anything from 4 months to 4 years. People are not selling businesses as often as you would think. Now, on average, there's about 10 to 15,000 M&A type transactions per year in the US. There's also about maybe the same 10 to 15,000 debt transactions in the US, and something much smaller like 2 to 5,000 equity transactions in the US. Now, these are all middle market space, so 10 million up to 1 billion. It's a pretty active space. There's a lot going on, but if you spread that across the entire US, you're going to have to fight in an extremely competitive environment. So who are some of these players in deal sourcing or deal origination? You might hear it called that too. So primarily you're going to have the main bankers, which would be a director, managing director, VP. They are primarily in charge of building this pipeline. It's going to be network based. You're going to have some outreach. There's going to be a lot of different strategies that people use for deal sourcing. But it's so important that it is consistent throughout the entire process because, like I mentioned, it could take 4 months. It could take 4 years. And the average length of time is going to be somewhere in the middle. But if you think about that, that's a really long time to wait to get paid on a success fee that is only paid when you close. How many people want to wait a couple years to get paid? Probably not that many. So the only way that you can handle that is by have a lot of leads and a whole lot of deals in the pipeline. So deal sourcing is a consistent process that goes from the beginning all the way to completion, and you have to have a massive list of people that you are consistently staying in touch with. It is a project and process all on its own before you even get to all the things that go into running a deal. All the operations, all the background items that are going into running a deal, they don't happen unless you have a long list of leads and a long list of deals. So a lot of bankers are really trying to hone in on different ways of how they can either systematize this, build it out, increase it. They'll try some old school approaches, they'll try some new school approaches, they'll try some tech approaches, and everything in between. So stay tuned, we're going to be talking more about deal sourcing, but first, you got to know what it is. So take a look at the other videos and talk soon.